Hi, welcome to the next module in the MyNASA Data training. In this module, we're going to talk about things that you might want to do ahead of time before introducing the lesson to your students. Again, these are suggestions. It's the teacher, you have the flexibility to use the lesson with your students. We do suggest that you look at the teacher notes at the end of each lesson. Now, the teacher notes are not password protected, which means that your students can also see the teacher notes. So it's not like an answer key that no one can see. Teacher notes are helpful hints, things that you might want to know before you introduce it to the students, things that teachers have suggested. Secondly, we do recommend that you practice the lesson first. Even though the live access server is very user-friendly, the students seem to do well with it, we do suggest that the teacher practice or at least explore the live access server ahead of time. And then if you do want the students to use the worksheet provided, then take some time to go ahead and run that off. And that can be used either one sheet per student or one sheet per group. Working in groups will be just fine. Now, let's look at an example of how one teacher introduced into an actual classroom and what some of the students are doing with the lesson. Let's check out the video.
All of you have become very, very successful. You're making lots of money. And because you are environmentally conscious, you have chosen to use solar energy. In fact, because as a recording artist, you're now on tour, you're going to have to take you and your crew out in a big travel trailer that's powered, its energy comes from the sun. You were based out of Wyoming. And we've chosen Wyoming because since you have to travel all across the United States, we wanted to find a place that was going to be centrally located. Plenty of sun out there in Wyoming, not a whole bunch of clouds, but you will have to travel throughout the year. Today you're going to have an opportunity to use real data that's coming from NASA. We're going to use some Earth observation satellites to get that information. Once you have the information, you're going to be able to compare the solar energy that's at each one of those locations. And last but not least, I want you to graph some of that data for us so that we have a useful tool to help us plan where your tours will take place and when. I see that all of you have done the Google search. You found MyNASA Data, so you're in great shape. From there, what I would like for you to do from the home page of MyNASA Data, I'd like you to take a look at some of the satellite information that's there. And you can find that on your sheet, or on your computer rather, by selecting the live access to data. You'll see a series of hyperlinks that are on that page, and what I'd like you to do is to select the live access server for basic data. Once you're there, you'll be able to enter some parameters to help you out today. Now, here's the things that I want you to think about. Remember, you live in Chadron, Wyoming, and from there, we need you to think about all the places that you're going to travel throughout the course of the year. Don't forget, you can choose up to 4 places that you can live throughout the year. Your travel trailer needs 100 watts of power. So some of the data that you're going to be pulling down from the live server will be able to tell you about the wattages that you'll be able to get. I want to know where you're going to live each month of the year. I want to know what the monthly average of solar radiation is compared to your home in Wyoming.
You'll notice from the video that the students were engaged, and that gave you some information about what to do ahead of time. This is one teacher's view, as well as what we covered in this segment on some strategies that you might use, some approaches that you might use to introduce the lesson to the student.